I was inspired to record myself today because I want to try on some light makeup. I haven't worn makeup in a while, and I was doing it for these videos and also not to let my makeup go to waste. But now I really want to try to prepare for a wedding. Not today, soon. And my boyfriend was like, I like it when you don't wear any makeup, which is very sweet. Uh, Having my coffee as well. It's Monday morning. The full moon, and had an interesting weekend. For the first time, I went to a shooting range. Um, and I was driven to go with my boyfriend because of the stuff I watched in the news. Um, and it's hard to avoid the news, especially when it comes up on my YouTube thumbnails. But it seems that the U.S. has flew over hundreds of migrants to White Plains in New York. And I just saw them, the footage, I just saw them like get off the plane. So many of them. And I have nothing against anybody. Like, I love all people, and I wish that I wasn't even talking about it. But my mom always said, like, she came here invited legally. And I was born here. But I also understand what it's like to live in other countries and not be invited for too long. I also understand that on my paycheck, my tax dollars go to the government. I never talk about politics openly, but I've done so much for myself to not be that statistic that I've heard over and over again. 20 years ago, I ran into someone I used to work with, and I started working when I was 14 years old. I think when I ran into him, I was in my early 20s. I was working as a project coordinator in a manufacturing plant. They made like those L'Oreal displays like that you see in Dwayne Reed, Neutrogena. They made those makeup stands for those brands. It was a fun job. Anyway, I ran into somebody on my way to work that day at a bank, and I was on my way to work, and I told him that I go to college at night. And he immediately said, without a hesitation, he was like, "Oh, I'm surprised. I'd imagine you when I knew you back when you were 14 to 16 that you would just be someone home barefoot and pregnant and taken care of." I don't know where this stereotype comes from. I remember when I used to work in an office building before the pandemic. People had a hard time believing that I was in project management, that I wasn't just a receptionist. But I've been a receptionist. But I haven't been sitting back waiting for somebody to take care of me. it saddens me that a lot of people perceive this about women, whether they have children or they don't. And that doesn't mean I hate being a woman. I just particularly know what I can do, what I can deal with, and what I can't. And I think that comes from experience. That comes from experience. Dreaming something up is all well and dandy, but once you're in it, and then you learn. You learn. You learn. One thing I've learned about working in the workforce is that if you're reporting to somebody that just wants to maintain their career, they're not going to want you to outgrow them. Oh, the only way to grow? Really? Is to learn and move on. Move on. There are certain group dynamics that don't breathe growth. And I've been through it. I've been through it. I think this is the look I'll go for. All right. Yeah, my dress will be somewhat of a pale pink. And in closing, the person that we met in the shooting range yesterday talked about his wife being kind of like, they try to distract her in the Walmart parking lot, and some lady came up to her to talk to her about Jesus, and the other guy was trying to like steal her car. So she just took the pepper spray and like blessed him down in his face, across his eyes. Then he dropped to the floor. Which circles back to knowing that there are people here that are undocumented and may try to resort to such things. Take care.